The morning began like any normal day on Earth. People were driving to work. School children were walking with backpacks. Street vendors were opening their shops, and airplanes moved quietly across the sky. But at 9:42 a.m., everything stopped. Every screen, every radio, every electronic device flickered and went black. Even satellites lost connection. For a few seconds, there was total silence. Deep, heavy silence, like the world was holding its breath. Then the voice came. It was not human. It was deep, thick, and echoed like thousands of stones grinding together. The message appeared on every screen across the planet. A giant alien symbol glowed red, spinning slowly, and behind it, a pair of glowing yellow eyes stared directly at Earth, like it could see every human at once. This message is from the Varkon Empire. The voice said, "Rulers of 900 worlds, destroyers of 12 civilizations, you will now surrender to us." People froze wherever they were. In hospitals, nurses stopped walking. In airports, passengers stared at the screens. In military bases, soldiers rushed to alert positions. No one knew what was happening, but everyone felt the same cold fear in their chest. The voice continued, "Your planet is weak. Your technology is primitive. Your armies are nothing. We offer you a choice: surrender peacefully or be erased from existence." The entire world listened in shock as the message played again and again. The alien eyes never blinked. They watched the world like a hungry predator. In the United Nations Command Center in Geneva, alarms blared as dozens of screens showed the same alien broadcast. General Mira Lawson, Earth's highest-ranking defense commander, stood at the center of the room. She was calm, focused, her eyes sharp. She had spent 30 years preparing for a threat like this. Once a theory, now a reality. "Do we know where the signal came from?" she asked. "Outer orbit beyond the moon," replied a technician. "Encrypted with technology we have never seen." Mira nodded slowly. She understood the meaning. The aliens were already close. Too close. Another officer shouted, "General, they sent a timer. They say they will arrive in 72 hours with their main fleet." Mira looked at the numbers counting down on the screen. 72 hours. 3 days. That was all humanity had. Meanwhile, in cities all around the world, panic began to grow. People ran home. Parents grabbed children. Shopkeepers closed shutters. Police tried to calm crowds. News channels tried to give reports, but they had no answers. For the first time in centuries, the entire Earth faced the same enemy. But something strange happened. After the first wave of fear, after the shock settled, something very human started to rise from inside people. Something the aliens never expected. Not surrender, not weakness, but stubborn courage. A construction worker in New York laughed and said, "Aliens want us to surrender? Good joke." A group of pilots in Tokyo smiled and said, "Let them come." A grandmother in Karachi whispered, "We survived everything, we will survive this too." Soldiers across the world tightened the straps of their helmets. Scientists closed their lab doors and began working faster. Engineers reopened old secret projects that had been locked away for years. Humanity was afraid, yes, but fear never controlled them. Fear only pushed them to fight harder. Back in the command center, Mira Lawson slowly sat down and watched as the alien message repeated again, "Surrender or be erased." She sighed once, then smiled, a small, bold smile. "They think we will kneel," she said quietly. "They really don't know humans." Her second-in-command, Major Elias Torin, asked, "General, what is our plan?" Mira stood straight and said the words that would change history. "We do not surrender. Not today. Not ever." Around her, officers straightened their shoulders. Engineers opened digital maps. Pilots received emergency orders. Every department of Earth defense came alive like a giant machine. For the first time, every nation, every city, every base worked together with one goal: survive. But Mira had a secret almost no one knew, something hidden far beneath Antarctica. "Activate Project Titan," she ordered. The room fell silent. Officers stared in shock. "General, Project Titan is unfinished," Elias whispered. It will be finished in 72 hours, she replied. It has to be. Unknown to the world, deep under the Antarctic ice, a giant metallic structure began to vibrate. Lights flickered along its surface. Machines awakened after decades of sleep. Something ancient, powerful, and massive was coming to life. Humanity did not plan to kneel. Humanity planned to fight. And humanity planned a last stand the galaxy would never forget. As the countdown reached 71 hours, 32 minutes, and 10 seconds, the alien voice played again, louder than before. Earth surrender. But this time, the world did not freeze. This time, millions of humans looked up at the sky and simply laughed. The world did not sleep that night. From the tallest buildings to the smallest villages, everyone watched the countdown ticking toward the alien arrival. 71 hours left. But inside the underground command bunker below Geneva, sleep was a luxury nobody had anymore. General Mira Lawson walked through the long metallic hallway, her boots echoing sharply. Every step reminded her of the weight on her shoulders. 8 billion lives waiting for her decisions. Yet her face remained calm, almost cold. Pressure did not break her. Pressure shaped her. Inside the main operations room, dozens of holographic screens floated in the air. Satellite views showed the moon, Mars, and deep space beyond. Engineers connected cables. Pilots were receiving encrypted codes. The atmosphere felt like a storm gathering strength. Major Elias Torn approached her. General, global forces are reporting in. 95% of all military stations are online. Space agencies are cooperating. Even old rivals are sharing intel. Mira nodded. Good. Humanity is strongest when united. But uniting the world was the easy part. The hard part was defeating an empire that had crushed 12 civilizations. Elias cleared his throat. General, about Project Titan. The power core still isn't stable. If we activate it too early, it won't explode, Mira interrupted. I know Titan better than anyone. It will hold. Her confidence was strong, but inside, a quiet fear existed. Titan was humanity's greatest gamble, a battle station built inside a hollow asteroid discovered 20 years ago. It had technology far beyond Earth's normal limits. Many believed it was too dangerous. But now, Earth had no choice. As they spoke, a young pilot entered the room, saluting sharply. His name was Aiden Cross, one of the most skilled fighter pilots alive. He was only 26, but his calm face made him look older. General, I have the updated scans, he said, placing a hologram on the table. The image showed a massive formation of alien ships slowly entering the edge of the solar system. There were thousands, destroyers, cruisers, carriers, and one giant mothership the size of a floating city. Elias whispered, This is impossible. No planet can fight this. Aiden looked at Mira. General, what are we going to do? Mira stared at the hologram for a long moment. Then she turned to both of them and said something shocking. We will not defend Earth. Aiden blinked. Ma'am, what? We will attack first, Mira said. Her tone was steady, unshakable. We will take the fight to them. Silence filled the room. It was the most insane idea ever spoken in military strategy. Attack a fleet that huge? Attack an empire that conquered galaxies? But Mira had already calculated everything in her mind. She pressed a button, and another hologram appeared. Earth's hidden orbital mines, satellite weapon grids, laser towers disguised as communication satellites, nuclear traps disguised as space junk. Humanity had been preparing for a threat like this for decades, in secret. These weapons won't destroy the whole fleet, Mira said, but they will confuse them. They will slow them down. And confusion is our strongest weapon. Aiden smiled a little. Aliens think humans are predictable. Exactly, Mira replied. But we are not. We fight wild. We fight messy. We fight smart. Then she pointed at another hologram, one showing a giant metallic structure deep below Antarctica. And Titan will be our final punch. As plans unfolded, teams around the world began building traps. Engineers disguised energy bombs as old satellites. Navy ships launched drones into orbit. Scientists worked on hacking alien signals. Even civilians volunteered to help move supplies underground. For the first time in history, humanity was working like a single machine. But the Varkon Empire was not blind. At 66 hours, alien scout drones appeared near Earth's orbit, small black orbs moving silently. They scanned Earth, gathered data, then vanished back into the darkness. But they missed something, because Earth had been watching them too. A secret radar system hidden on the far side of the moon tracked the drone's path. And when they tried to escape, Earth jammed their signals so they couldn't report back. Aiden returned to the command center with a report. General, the scouts didn't detect our traps. They think we are preparing for surrender. Mira smiled for the first time in hours. Good. Let them believe that. While Earth was building war plans, the alien empire was preparing for an easy victory. They underestimated humans. They always did. Meanwhile, deep under the Antarctic ice, Project Titan continued to awaken. Its engines hummed. Its shield generators crackled with blue energy. Its giant cannons adjusted themselves like arms stretching after a long sleep. The machine was almost alive. At 64 hours left, bright lights flashed inside the Titan chamber. Alarms buzzed. Engineers panicked. Elias rushed to Mira. General, the power core is overheating. We must shut it down. Mira ran to the console, eyes sharp. She studied the readings, then shook her head. No, this is normal. Titan is adapting, just like humanity. The tension grew thicker as the countdown continued. Every second felt heavier. Every breath felt like the last calm moment before a storm. Finally, at 62 hours left, an alert echoed through the bunker. Alien fleet accelerating. Estimated arrival time reducing. Aiden whispered, "They're coming faster than expected." Mira stared at the approaching red dots on the hologram. Her jaw tightened. "Then we adjust," she said. "We fight harder. We strike first. They want surrender. We give them something else, fear." She stepped forward, her voice rising with power. "Prepare all units. The last stand begins now." The countdown reached 48 hours when Earth finally saw them. At first, they appeared as tiny red dots on satellite screens, slow, steady, organized. But within minutes, the dots grew bigger. Hundreds, then thousands, then a wave of glowing metal that stretched from one end of the solar sky to the other. The Varkon Empire had arrived. Every nation broadcasted the same message. Look to the east sky at sunrise. People gathered on rooftops, hills, and beaches. As the sun began to rise, something unbelievable happened. A long shadow cut across the golden light. Not from clouds, but from ships. Alien ships. Giant, dark, armored ships, layered like massive slabs of stone floating in the atmosphere. Their formation was so wide that they blocked a part of the sun itself. Morning turned into a strange twilight. Birds stopped flying. Streets fell silent. Even the wind seemed to pause. Humanity had seen pictures of alien armadas before, but seeing it with their own eyes was different. Terrifying. Beautiful. Unreal. In the Geneva bunker, Aiden Cross stared at the satellite feed, unable to blink. "I've never seen anything like this," he whispered. Major Elias swallowed hard. "General, this is not just a fleet. This is a legion." General Mira Lawson didn't move. She stood with both hands behind her back, her eyes locked on the main screen. "They came with everything." "Good." Elias turned to her. "Good." "Yes," Mira said calmly. "Because if they brought their whole army, then we only need to break them once." Suddenly, every screen in the bunker turned black, then bright red. The same alien symbol from earlier appeared, spinning slowly like a blade. A deep voice echoed through every speaker, every phone, every radio on Earth. "Humans, this is your final warning. Kneel, submit, or be destroyed." Earth did not answer. Then the voice changed. Another alien appeared, this time their commander. His face was reptilian, armor with bone plates. His eyes glowed like burning coals. "I am Lord Varkesh of the Ninth Dominion. I speak the Emperor's will. Your resistance is meaningless. Your world will be cleansed." He extended a long claw toward the screen, as if touching Earth. This is mercy. Surrender. Aiden clenches fists. Do they even understand? We don't do surrender. Mira stepped forward and pressed the reply button. Her voice echoed across the entire planet and up to the alien mothership. This is General Mira Lawson of Earth Defense. Your message is received. She paused. Then, with a calm smile, she said, No. The alien commander froze. His eyes widened. He clearly expected fear, begging, maybe negotiation. Not this, Mira continued. You think humans are weak. You think numbers win battles. But you forgot something. Humans don't kneel. Not to tyrants. Not to empires. Not to fear. A shockwave of approval whispered across Earth. People watching from their homes felt their hearts pound with pride. The only thing we'll receive from Earth, Mira finished, is a fight. Bunker officers erupted into cheers. Aiden grinned. Elias exhaled, half terrified, half inspired. But high above Earth's atmosphere, the alien commander's expression changed from surprise to anger. So be it, he hissed. Erase them. He raised one claw, and thousands of alien ships charged forward. The invasion had officially begun. The first strike. The aliens fired first. Beams of purple energy lanced down toward Earth. But before they could hit the surface, dozens of hidden human satellites activated their shields. Invisible barriers flashed into life, absorbing the first attack like glass catching fire. Then Earth responded. Hundreds of disguised satellites transformed. Panels unfolding, cannons rising, energy cores glowing. They fired beams of blue and white light straight into the alien formation. Dozens of alien cruisers exploded instantly, tore apart by weapons they didn't know humans had. In the bunker, technicians shouted updates. Direct hits. Enemy shields dropping. They're confused. They didn't expect orbital defenses. Mira nodded. Good. Activate Grid Alpha. Far above the planet, 300 small metallic spheres woke up. These were Earth's orbital mines. They floated harmlessly for years as satellite junk. But now they moved with purpose, drifting silently toward the alien fleet. The aliens didn't notice them until too late. One by one, the mines exploded, releasing electromagnetic blasts that shut down engines and scrambled navigation systems. Alien warships collided with each other like broken toys. Aiden watched in awe. We're hurting them, we're really hurting them. But then the main mothership arrived. It was enormous, large enough to cover an entire city. Its shadow spread across the ocean, swallowing sunlight. Its surface pulsed with molten energy, and it began charging a weapon. Sensors blared in the bunker. General, the mothership is aiming at Earth. A beam started forming, bright, sharp, deadly. Mira spoke calmly. Activate Antarctic Shield. Deep under Antarctica, Project Titan responded. A massive energy barrier surged upward, forming a glowing dome across half the planet. The alien beam fired, a massive blast that could destroy a continent. It hit Titan's shield and bounced off. Shock waves rippled through the alien fleet. Aiden whispered, They didn't expect that. Mira replied softly, We're just getting started. The alien beam struck Titan's shield with the force of a dying star. The ground trembled. Ice cracked across Antarctica like broken glass. Waves rose in nearby oceans as if the planet itself had taken a punch. But Titan stood firm. The shield shimmered, bent, flickered, yet did not break. Far above the planet, thousands of aliens watched in disbelief. Their strongest weapon, one that had crushed worlds, had failed. Inside the Geneva bunker, the room exploded with cheers. Officers hugged each other, crying with relief. But Mira Lawson did not celebrate. Her eyes stayed locked on the screen, watching the enemy ships rearrange themselves. Aiden grabbed his headset. General, the aliens are regrouping. That attack was just the beginning. Mira nodded. I know. They're planning something bigger. The sky turns into war. The alien fleet moved with terrifying precision. Smaller attack ships, sleek, sharp, shaped like metal predators, broke away from the main formation. They fell toward Earth like a storm of claws. Cities below saw glowing streaks in the sky. Some people thought it was meteors. Others prayed. But Aiden knew exactly what they were. Dropships, he whispered. They're coming to land troops. Elias shouted, General, if they land on Earth. They won't, Mira replied. Launch the fighters. Far above, hidden hangars in Earth's orbit opened. Human fighter jets, sleek, fast, uniquely chaotic in design, shot into the sky. They flew in wild shapes, not in straight lines like alien ships. And that was humanity's advantage. Every human pilot fought like an artist. Unpredictable, dangerous, free. Aiden's squadron, Falcon Unit, led the charge. Their engines roared like angry thunder. Falcons, engage at will. Aiden commanded. Human jets spiraled, twisted, dropped, and climbed like lightning with wings. Alien ships fired purple beams, but the humans dodged with impossible movements. The battle lit up the sky in a storm of blue and purple streaks. Aiden flew directly between two alien fighters, flipped upside down, and fired 2 missiles backward. Both hits exploded behind him. Elias watched the live feed and whispered, We don't fly like them. We fight like chaos. Mira smiled, and chaos scares them. The alien counterattacked, but the aliens adapted quickly. They formed a massive wall of metal ships, rows upon rows of armored cruisers. The formation closed around the Earth like tightening jaws. Bunker alarms screamed. Enemy ships descending. Troop carriers approaching. Multiple energy spikes detected. Then it happened. Giant alien dropships, the size of skyscrapers, broke through Earth's upper atmosphere. Flames surrounded them as they fell, but their armor held strong. One headed toward New York, another toward Tokyo, another toward Abuja, another toward Berlin. If even one landed, millions could die. Mira gave the order no one expected. Activate thunderstorm protocol. All around Earth, massive coils hidden inside mountain deserts and oceans came to life. They charged with raw electricity. Clouds thickened across the sky. Lightning twisted unnaturally, flashing in straight lines like a control weapon. Then the storm dropped. A massive bolt of lightning, 10 times brighter than normal, struck the first alien dropship. Its armor melted. The ship broke apart in midair, falling into the ocean. More bolts followed, guided by satellites that acted like lightning directors. For the first time, Earth's weather became a weapon. The aliens panicked. Their communications jammed. Their shields broke. Their ship struggled against Earth's raging sky. Aiden saw an alien troop carrier falling apart and shouted, Yes! They're losing control. But the victory was temporary. Because the alien mothership responded. The mothership awakens. The mothership's core started glowing again, brighter than before. The runes across its surface turned red. The alien commander, Lord Varkesh, appeared on every screen again. You resist well for primitives, he hissed. But watch how an empire destroys hope. The mothership released hundreds of small drones, each one a flying bomb. They rained down toward Earth like black hail. Aiden's warning screamed to the comms. General, those aren't scouts. They're planet breakers. If they reach the surface. I know, Mira said sharply. Prepare Titan. Deep below Antarctica, Titan pulsed with blinding blue light. Its arms extended. Its shield reshaped. Its cannon rotated. The ice cavern glowed like a second sunrise. Engineers evacuated as energy levels spiked dangerously. Titan's core hummed in a low, haunting tone, as of awakening from a long dream. General, the cannon isn't stable. Elias shouted. Mira didn't blink. It doesn't need to be stable. It just needs to fire. The shot that shook the galaxy. The mothership's drones were seconds away from entering Earth's atmosphere. Cities braced for impact. Families cried. Soldiers prayed. Aiden whispered, Come on, Titan, please. Then Titan fired. A massive white-blue beam erupted from Antarctica, so powerful that the ice around it vaporized instantly. The air itself shook. The oceans rippled from pole to pole. The beam tore straight into the sky, expanding as it climbed. It struck the cloud of alien drones and wiped them out in one flash. Millions of glowing pieces floated across the sky like tiny stars. The The aliens had never seen anything like it. Humanity had just revealed its secret monster, and the galaxy trembled. Aiden exhaled in disbelief. Elias wiped tears. Technicians froze in awe. Mira looked up at the screen, her voice a whisper. This is our planet, not theirs. The alien drones vanished in a single flash. Titan's beam cut through them like dust in sunlight. The sky slowly cleared, glowing with thousands of tiny sparks. Fragments of what was supposed to destroy humanity. For a moment, the entire planet went silent. People looked upward with wide eyes, unable to understand what they had just witnessed. Children pointed at the falling lights. Soldiers stood frozen. Scientists stared at their monitors like they were dreaming. Aiden Cross, still in his cockpit miles above the planet, whispered, "We did that." In the Geneva bunker, some officers cried openly. Others clapped, unable to contain their pride. But General Mira Lawson stood still, eyes locked on the giant mothership on the main screen. She knew this wasn't over. She knew Titan's first shot wasn't victory. It was a warning, and the aliens heard it loud and clear. The Empire's shock. High above Earth, inside the mothership, the alien commander Lord Varkesh stared at the battlefield in stunned silence. His armor pulsed with green, a sign of rising anger. One of his lieutenants approached. "Commander, the human weapon destroyed all drones, and our outer shields took damage." Varkesh hissed. "Impossible. Humans do not have such power." Another alien reported. "Our long-range scans show energy levels in the Antarctica region far beyond human capability. It is unnatural." The commander slammed his claw against the control panel. Sparks flew. "They are hiding something," he growled. "Primitives should not have technology that rivals the Empire." His eyes narrowed. "And I want to know where they got it." The laughter that changed everything. On Earth, word about Titan spread faster than the wind. In Karachi, people watching the sky began laughing from relief. In New York, crowds on rooftops cheered and hugged each other. In Nairobi, children danced as the glowing fragments fell like stars. In Tokyo, workers left their buildings and raised their fists to the sky. Humanity did not celebrate victory. Humanity celebrated defiance. Aiden's voice came through the pilot channel, trembling with adrenaline. "General, the world is laughing." Elias smiled for the first time in many hours. They're not afraid anymore. Mira watched live feeds from around the globe. People clapping, cheering, pointing at the sky, shouting with courage they didn't know they had. "No," Mira said softly. "Fear has changed sides." The aliens expected a broken species. Instead, they saw a species laughing in the middle of a war. There were many things the Varkon Empire understood: technology, domination, destruction. But one thing they never understood was human humor. Humans laughed in funerals. Humans joked during disasters. Humans smiled in the face of death. And that terrified the aliens more than any weapon. The mothership strikes back. But the war was far from finished. Sensors in the bunker beeped rapidly. "General, the mothership is charging again. Energy levels rising. It's preparing a direct strike on Antarctica." Myra's face hardened. They want to destroy Titan. Aiden shouted from the skies, "If Titan falls, Earth falls. What's the plan?" Mira stepped closer to the screens. Her voice became sharp and controlled. "Humanity has already shown its teeth. Now we show our roar." She tapped a command. "Open global broadcast." A technician asked, "General, to the aliens or to Earth?" "Both." The message that shook the Empire. All across Earth, screens turned on automatically. In the mothership, alien officers turned their heads to the glowing display. Even the Emperor, watching from his distant palace, saw the same thing. General Mira Lawson standing tall, calm, unbroken. She began to speak, her voice echoing across continents and starships. "You came here expecting fear. You came here expecting surrender. You thought humans would kneel." She paused, letting silence stretch. "And yet, what did you hear instead?" She pressed a button. A recording played. Millions of humans laughing. Deep, loud, fearless laughter. The sound filled every alien corridor. The sound filled every human home. The sound shook the galaxy. Mira continued, "We laugh because we are not afraid of you. We laugh because we have survived worse. We laugh because you came to take our freedom." Her eyes sharpened, "And we do not give it away." Varkesh roared in frustration, slamming the screen. He expected fear. He received defiance wrapped in humor. Titan's awakening. Suddenly, the Anarcha cameras showed Titan rising even higher. Ice split apart, falling like giant crystals. Snowstorms formed around the massive machine as energy channels lit up bright blue. "General," Elias shouted, "Titan is activating again on its own." Mira nodded. "Good. It understands the threat." Because Titan was not just a machine. It was a guardian built from an ancient unknown alloy. It learned. It adapted. And now it was angry. The aliens, watching from above, began to panic. "Commander," a lieutenant cried, "the human weapon is preparing a second shot." Varkesh raised his claws. "Counter it. Fire everything." The mothership opened its lower hull, revealing a massive weapon chamber glowing with red energy. Earth's skies darkened again. Aiden's voice tightened. "General, the next exchange could destroy half the planet." Mira finally gave the order. "Titan, fire my command." Earth held its breath. The galaxy held its breath. Two Titans, one made by Empire, one forged by human desperation, prepared to strike each other head-on. Humanity was not fighting to win anymore. Humanity was fighting to teach the galaxy a lesson. You can threaten us. You can attack us. But you will never make us kneel. The sky above Earth had never looked so strange. Half glowing red from the alien mothership, half glowing blue from Titan rising out of Antarctica. It felt like two suns were preparing to collide, each one carrying the power to break a world. Inside the Geneva bunker, everyone stood frozen. Aiden's voice came crackling through the comms from high above. "General, the mothership is charging a super beam. This one is bigger. If it hits Titan, it won't stop there. It will cut Earth in half." Major Elias whispered, "We can't survive that." Mira Lawson stood tall, her eyes fixed on the screens. She was calm, too calm, as if she had made peace with something long ago. "No," she said softly. "We survive everything. That's what humans do." The sky begins to scream. The mothership released a deep, vibrating roar as energy filled its main cannon. Red lightning crackled across its hull. The sky darkened until the sun itself dimmed behind the alien weapon. At the same time, Titan's blue glow intensified. Its massive structure unfolded into full battle mode. Armor plates shifting, energy cores opening. Cannons rising like the arms of a sleeping giant finally awake. For the first time, humans saw Titan's true form fully revealed. And it was beautiful. A colossal metal guardian standing tall against a cosmic empire. Aiden whispered, "My God, we built that?" Elias stared at the screen with tears forming. "No, we discovered it. Humans only finished what someone else started." Mira nodded slowly. "And today, Titan fights with us." The Empire makes its move. Inside the alien mothership, Lord Varkesh stood before a giant control pillar. He looked furious, more than furious, embarrassed. His claws trembled with rage. "Charge the Omega beam," he ordered. "Erase their weapon, then erase their species." His officers hesitated. "Commander, the beam at full power could damage our own fleet." Varkesh snarled. "Then they will die as warriors of the Empire." Fire. The mothership cannon ignited. A massive column of red energy shot downward toward Earth. It wasn't a beam. It was a spear, a weapon meant to kill a planet. Aiden screamed into the radio, "General, it's firing. It's firing." In cities around the world, people watched with horrified eyes. Some ran. Some prayed. Some simply stared at the sky, unable to look away. The red spear tore through the clouds, heading straight for Titan. Mira took a breath and gave a single command. "Titan now." The Guardian strikes back. The moment the red spear reached the upper atmosphere, Titan fired its own beam. A blinding blue-white blast exploded from Antarctica with the sound of 1,000 storms. Snow vaporized instantly. Ice mountains turned into clouds of steam. The entire continent shook. The two beams collided in the middle of the sky, and the universe went silent. Then, boom, a shock wave blasted through the air. The sky split open with cracking energy. Clouds ripped apart. Oceans rolled violently. The earth trembled under the sheer force. Aiden's jet flipped uncontrollably as he yelled, "I'm losing control. The energy waves are hitting everything." But the beams did not stop. Red and blue energy twisted together like two dragons fighting the heavens, neither one willing to surrender. People around the world watched the clash of colors above them. Some cried. Some screamed. Some simply whispered, "Please don't let it end here." Humanity's turning point. Inside the bunker, technicians shouted numbers. The mothership is overpowering us. Titan is losing energy. The beam is shifting downward. Mira, clench your jaw. Divert all global power grids into Titan. Everything. Lights, factories, cities, shut them down. Elias gasped, "General, that will turn half the world dark." "Then let it be dark," Mira said. "Better darkness than death." Across the world, lights flickered and went out. Whole cities plunged into blackout. But all that stolen power surged into Titan, making its beam grow thicker, brighter, louder. The blue giant pushed the red spear back upward. Aiden saw it and yelled through tears. "We're winning. We're pushing them back." But the mothership increased power again. The red beam thickened. Titan shook violently. Alarms blared across the bunker. Core overload. Titan can't hold much longer. Energy levels unstable. Elias whispered, "We're going to lose?" "No," Mira said quietly. "Humanity isn't done yet." The rise of the world. Something happened then. Something no alien could ever understand. In cities without power, millions of humans stepped outside to watch the beams in the sky. They stood together. Strangers, families, soldiers, elders, everyone. And they began shouting, not in fear, not in surrender, but in unity. For Earth, for humanity, don't stop. Fight. The sound rose from every continent like a tidal wave of courage. Billions of voices became one roar. The emotion, the energy, the belief, somehow, impossibly, Titan responded. Its beam brightened again. Elias stared at the monitors. "General, Titan's energy is spiking, but we didn't power it." Mira smiled, tears in her eyes. "No, humanity did." Even Aiden, fighting to stabilize his jet, felt the surge. "Come on, Titan. Come on." And then, the blue beam overpowered the red. Slowly, painfully, unstoppably, the red spear snapped apart. The mothership's weapon buckled. Panels shattered. Its armor cracked. The aliens screamed in confusion. Varkesh roared in disbelief. This cannot be happening. But it was happening. Humanity, as one species, had turned the tide. The Empire begins to fall. The mothership's cannon exploded in a burst of fire. Alien ships were thrown off course. The fleet wavered. The formation broke. Aiden saw it all and whispered, "This is it. Humanity rises today." Mira lowered her head and whispered only two words. "Finish it." The last stand was no longer a defense. It was the beginning of humanity's counterattack. The alien mothership burned in the sky, like a wounded star. Pieces of its armor floated away, glowing red as they fell toward the upper atmosphere. The entire Varkon fleet wavered, confused, frightened, disorganized. The Empire had never seen their strongest weapon shattered. Not by another empire, not by advanced technology, but by humans, a species they thought was weak, emotional, chaotic. Inside the Geneva bunker, the room shook from distant explosions, but no one cared. Everyone stared at the live feed. They watched the mothership's shield flicker, spark, then die completely. Major Elias covered his mouth. "Their shields are down. General, they're open." Aiden's voice came through the radio, breathless and full of fire. "General Mira, just say the word." Mira Lawson looked at the screen, her expression calm, almost gentle. The war had taken everything from her. Sleep, peace, fear, but it had given her one thing back. A united world. "Send the final command," she said softly. All forces advance. The final push. Human fighters rose like a storm of steel birds, moving fast and unpredictable. Aiden led the first spearhead. Behind him, entire squadrons from different nations formed one massive wave. Falcon unit, on me! Aiden shouted. They dove through the remains of the alien formation, weaving between broken cruisers and fire trails. Alien cannons fired wildly, but human pilots dodged like they were dancing through chaos. Below them, Titan lifted higher out of the ice, its core glowing with brilliant blue. It aimed its massive cannon at the mothership again, charging for one final decisive shot. In the mothership, Lord Varkesh staggered across the cracked bridge. Sparks fell from the ceiling. His officers lay scattered, injured, terrified, defeated. How? He growled, voice shaking. How can they keep fighting? How can they still stand? A dying alien soldier looked up at him and whispered, Commander, they fight like they enjoy the battle. The idea horrified Varkesh. Humans were not like other species. When cornered, they didn't break. They ignited. Aiden's descent. Aiden saw the mothership's core glowing through a massive crack. It was exposed, barely protected. This was the moment. He whispered into his mic, General, we can end this. Mira replied, I know, but come back alive. Aiden. Aiden smiled. I'll try, ma'am. No promises. He tilted his jet downward, engine screaming as he pushed it beyond its limits. His squadron followed, protecting him, creating a corridor of fire and courage straight toward the heart of the alien flagship. Alien fighters swarmed around him, firing violently. 2 human jets exploded beside him. Another spiraled away in flames. Aiden gritted his teeth, but didn't break focus. This is for Earth, he said. He fired all remaining missiles. They streaked through the air. 6 missiles. 1 target. 1 last chance. The shot heard across the stars. At the same time, Titan reached full power. The ancient machine hummed with a deep, thunder-like energy that echoed across Antarctica. Elias shouted, General, Titan is ready to fire. Mira closed her eyes for a brief second, letting the weight of history settle on her shoulders. Then she spoke. Titan, fire. And Earth's guardian obeyed. A colossal beam of blue-white energy shot upward, slicing the sky open like a blade of pure light. The oceans rippled. The mountains trembled. For a moment, Earth glowed like a newborn star. Aiden's missiles hit the mothership's core at the exact same moment Titan's beam struck. The result was a cosmic eruption. The core imploded, then exploded outward with violent force. A wave of red and white energy ripped across the sky, tearing the mothership apart piece by piece. Alien ships were thrown away like leaves in a storm. Aiden's jet shook violently, alarms blaring, warning lights flashing. He whispered, Please, not yet, just hold together. And somehow, the jet held. The Empire retreats. The surviving alien ships fled in every direction, breaking formation completely. They were not retreating like soldiers. They were running like prey. One alien admiral sent a final message to the Empire's homeworld. Do not return to Earth. Do not provoke the humans. They are not a primitive race. They are something else. Mira received the final battlefield reading. The alien fleet is in full retreat. Elias said softly. Mira exhaled slowly. Then it's over. Around the world, cheers erupted. Cities lit up again. People hugged strangers. Families cried tears they had been holding for days. Soldiers dropped to their knees in relief. Humanity had won. The aftermath. Aiden landed his jet on a damaged runway, sparks flying as the wheels hit the ground. The jet's wings were half gone, smoke rising from the engines. But he stepped out alive. People rushed to him, cheering. But he only looked at the sky, watching the last burning pieces of the mothership drift across space. Mira addressed the world from Geneva. We did not win because we were stronger, she said. We won because we stood together. Every human, every heart, every voice. She looked directly into the camera. To the galaxy. We don't start wars. We do not seek conquest. But if you come for our home, you will understand why humans never surrender. The legend begins. Months later, Rumors spread across distant star systems. Stories whispered in alien markets described Earth as a world protected by a metal titan and a species that laughed during war. Some called humans the unyielding ones. Others called them the Stormborn. But most simply gave them one name, the species that does not kneel. And thus, the legend of humanity's last stand began.